In today's meeting, and you can rest assured, we can all rest assured that this meeting would be watched all over the Kashmir Valley, not only in Srinagar, but also across the entire region by not only the army and the militants, but above all by the ordinary Kashmiri, who's forced to live by his wits every single day, and this has been the story for the past quarter century. The point at which SHUJAAT has been killed is interesting historically, if you notice. On the one hand, you have extremist violence and politics relating to it has been on the rise past 3 or 4 years, which incidentally coincides with the last 4 years of the present regime in New Delhi. And in response to that, extreme militarism and a complete absence of constructive politics from the side of the Indian state. In this statement of ours, joint statement to which we are all supposed to be, we are missing out the role of the government of India. You've called upon the Jammu and Kashmir government. Yeah, but give primacy to the government of India. We know that we're a federal structure. We know that state government, law and order is a state subject and all the rest of it. But actually, not a leaf moves in Kashmir, by the say-so of Mehbooba Mufti or DGP Kashmir. So please give the primacy to the government of India. The coming together of extreme militarism on the side of our state, as well as extremist violence from the other side, has brought about this killing. SHUJAAT came from a place called Creedy, which is about 30-35 kilometers, as you drive to Baramulla. The first time I went to Creedy was around 2000, 2001, something like that. In those people from Srinagar used to be afraid to be passing that way. At my begging, some people took me there. And because I was a non-Kashmiri, there was this fear कि ये किसके साथ आ गए, पता नहीं इसका क्या मायना निकाले जाएगा, etc., etc. In such a place, I am told, I wasn't there myself 2 days ago, I am told some 30,000 people. It is an overgrown village. You can't even call it a town. At least when I last saw it 3 or 4 years ago, it could not be classified as a town. Some 30,000 people from a place which had become famous all over the Kashmir Valley for the militant youth it was sending out. In such a place, 30,000 people turned up for the Namaz-e-Janaza. 30,000 people. And many people found no place and they could not even offer the namaz. It was so crowded. It was so crowded. This is what eyewitnesses told me over the phone. And the message to me simply, when I heard this, the message that flashed in my head was that people are sick of violence, They don't want your state violence. They don't want their violence. And among the last things that I was trying for was extension of the ceasefire. I'm not going to get into policy, politics and so forth. That's an extremely complex issue. But and I also would have liked the ceasefire to have been extended. That's a separate matter. But in Creedy, so many people coming out in support of a man who sought nothing but engagement, who thought the only way to peace was talk, and there was no other way. That to me told me the story of the inside track of Kashmir society. I'm not saying politics. Politics, a wholly different ballgame, but Kashmir society and what. And expect that the least that we can do is to mount pressure on our own government at the center to say, for goodness sake, this whole nonsensical and dangerous and violent attitude of zero tolerance, the so-called zero tolerance doctrine, which is trying to be made respectable by a lot of us, on the television channels and even in our newspaper writings. That must be cleaned up, and some way has to be found under public pressure, under the pressure of a meeting like this on the government. Let's not be begging with the government to please institute an inquiry committee, etc. Nothing is going to come of it. That is a routine. It is a routine expression, of which people have grown tired. Let us, in our joint statement, let us not shy of admonishing the government, of not taking on the kind of political role it ought to, and instead of that, they are sending us down this militaristic path. Let us completely criticize that and condemn it. Thank you very much. Yes. I'm glad you have asked for accountability at all levels. Please do so. That's very important. But I think we ought to be a little bit more forthright. Thank you.
1 second, let me explain that because it's a joint statement of several organizations, we have to come to a common ground where there should not be any difference of opinion among the organizations. So that's why it may sound a little bit gentle, but the point has been clearly met that there should be an accountability of not only of the state government but also of the union government. That we have clearly stated. Now,
Rahul.